Hello to the Shins and welcome back to Tagum Doctors College. And this is again Teacher Anna, your learning partner. Now, let's have our next lesson. So, last week we have learned about lesson number 8 and we have conducted our first quarter exam. Now, let's go to the second monthly first topic, which is lesson number 9. So, this is about the executive branch and local government of Unit 3, a closer look at the Philippine government. So, now let's go to the next slide. So, for our intended learning outcomes, so at the end of the lesson, guys, you are expected to first identify the powers and responsibilities of the executive branch. Second, you are also going to discuss the role of the cabinet in executing the responsibilities of the executive branch and discuss the significance of regionalization and autonomy in achieving local development. So, the executive branch, which includes the President of the Republic, his cabinet, and the related agencies and offices, is tasked with the execution of the laws of the state, as well as creating and implementing government policies and programs. So, the president is aided by his cabinet guys in ensuring the government policies and uh, what we call the executive branch presiding laws, policies, and projects that respond to the needs of citizens. So, the local government units, guys, are another important component of the executive branch. So, they ensure that the provision of the national laws and government policies and programs are effectively implemented in their respected community. So, malaki din yung part ni LGUs dito. So, try to read your module, guys, so to know more about what is an administrative orders, advocacy, bail, cabinet, and centralization. Try to unlock the difficulties for these key terms. Now, let's go to the next one. So let's have the executive branch. So the executive branch is also one of the branches of the government. So most likely it is led by the president. So uh, siya yung head ng state. Siya din yung head ng government. The powers of the Philippines or of the president are balanced through a system of checks of balances performed by other government branches. So, as we have discussed in the last discussions or last lessons. So, meron tayong tatlong branches of government. So, we have the executive, legislative, and the judiciary. So, sila yon naga-check and balances sa bawat isa. So, uh, check nila yung ibang part or ibang branch ng government to know if they are really performing well and kung wala ba nila ginaabuso ang ilahang mga trabaho. So, now let's move forward to the next one or ilahang mga pagka-head or ilahang mga nadawat nga privilege as a what we call this one as a government officials. So always remember guys that the president of the Philippines guys is elected by direct vote. So dili pwede nga ma mahimo kang presidente nga wala ka niagi og direct vote with the people. So, just like President Duterte or President Rodrigo Rua Duterte, he also became a president by direct vote by the people, okay? So, meron siyang 6 years para maging presidente dito sa ating bansa. And then, he may only serve for 1 term. So, pwede siya mag-serve for 1 term and is ineligible for re-election. So, the term of the President of the Philippines starts at noon of the 30th of June after election. So, after sa election, guys, sa June 30th, dira mag-start ang trabaho or kuan na siya, mo start na sa iyahang trabaho pagka presidente ang bag-ong nadaog as a president. Okay? So now he would be the head of the executive department, which carries out the law. So, individuals guys who aim to run for presidency, so kung kisa sa inyo hadere ang gusto mahimong president in the future, so he have so the president should have meet a specific set of qualifications. So dapat naa kaani. So despite being elected, the president may vacate his or her position due to various reasons. So paras kang Estrada sa una nga napagtalsik siya with uh, the help of a lot of people, revolutionaries, and even si Gloria Macapagal Arroyo has also its part para mapatalsik si Estrada. Kasi si Estrada daw is nagid siya na buhat gyud daw nga mali. So, now, the qualification, guys, for an individual aspiring to become the president. So, who are the inspiring president uh, of your batch? So, most likely ito yung dapat mong basahin. It is the Philippine Republic, Article number 7, Section 2 of the 1987 Constitution. So, according to the Constitution, guys, an individual may become president provided he meets the following criteria. So, we have the natural born Filipino. You need also a registered voter. So, katong mga kolorom, dili pwede mo dagan pagka presidente. So, must be able to read and write. So, dili ka balong musulat og mubasa, dili maka or dili pwede mo dagan pagka presidente. And then, he must also 40 years old of age or 40 years of age at the day of the election. So meaning 40 years above lang ang pwede nga mudagan o presidente and must have resided in the Philippines 10 years before election is held. So dapat diri po ka na po sa Pilipinas at least 10 years. Okay, before the election. So ay kung gusto mo mahimong presidente, so ayan jud mo balhin og laing bansa. So dili lang ta magstay sa Pilipinas or make sure that you will stay here in the Philippines for more than 10 years. So now let's go to the President's Cabinet. So as of May 31, 2016 guys, 3 p.m., ito na yung Duterte's cabinet member. So ano ba ang trabaho ng mga cabinet member guys or the cabinet? So they are to assist the president in implementing projects for the improvement of the state. So nagkalain-lain ang ilahang sektor. It is because they are the one who will assist the president. So, sino kaya yung mga kabinete ninyo kung kayo ang magiging presidente? So, it is composed of different departments and offices concerned with specific area of governance. So, just like Salvador, which is an executive secretary, we have the cabinet secretary, June Evasco Jr., we have this presidential spokesperson, we have Sal Panilo, we have Emmanuel Piñol, which is Department of Foreign Affairs or DA, and then Department of Budget Management, we have Benjamin Diokno. For the DepEd, we have Leonor Briones. For DOF, Carlos Dominguez III. For DFA, we have Perfecto Yasay Jr. For the Department of Justice, we have Attorney Vitaliano Aguirre. For Dole, we have Silvestre Bibot Bello the third. So for DPWH, we have Mark Villar. So for DOTC, we have Arthur Tugade. For the NIDA, we have Dr. Ernesto M. Pernia. For the National Security Council, we have retired General Hermogenes Esperon. And for the OPAP, we have Jesus Jes Dureza. For the Solicitor General, we have Jose Caleda. For the PNP Chief, we have Police Superintendent Ronald De La Rosa, which is now a senator. And the Presidential Security Group, uh, we have Rolando Bautista. So they are the Duterte's cabinet member. So I don't know if meron bang na change nito. So and then meron din atang lacking. So we have the Department of Health. So alam nyo ba guys kung sino ang ating secretary for Department of Health? Di ba sikat kayo to siya, no? So I hope that you know who is our secretary for Department of Health. So, ating hindi natin nasali dito, no? So, it is Francisco Duque. So, Francisco Duque is our secretary for the Department of Health. So, now, let's have the next one. So, ang motto talaga daw ni Francisco Duque, guys, is to promotion of health for the people. Okay? So, he really wants a promotion of health for the people. Now, let's go to the next one. So, always remember that in the executive department or executive branch, the local government units is one of its lowest division. So, it encompasses, guys, the barangay. So, appeal na sila sa mga local department or local government, the municipality, the city, and the province. So, collectively known as the local government units. So, they are what we call local government units. So, these LGUs are under the supervision of the President through the Department of Interior and Local Government. So, under po sila sa DILG or Department of Interior and Local Government. That's why, guys, it is very important that when you are going to be the president, you will have or you really have a very good communication, a very good kuan, partnership with the local government unit. Kasi yung mga national projects patungo sa mga local project, dapat malaman nila kung paano ba talaga ipapatupad yung national project. And then, para dili po kanila i-bias ang imuhang mga project or whatever their submitted budget and projects for their towns, cities, and municipalities, and even uh, the province that they are into or they are leading. So, kinanglan jud na jud kay maayo nga mga local government unit or mga partner nimo sa pamamahala. Especially if you are going to be the president so that ma-feel good sa mga tao o ma-solve jud nato ang mga root cause of the government problem and even the uh, what we call this one, the country's problems, such as high level of uneducation or high level of unemployment, high level of poverty. So, based biya sa nabasa na ko sa newspaper, nagababa na ang ato ang poverty rate. So, I hope tuloy-tuloy na nino. So, now let's go to the Local Government Code of 1991. So, meron din tayong ginagabay na or mo ni siya ang gabay as a local government code. Especially if you're going to be the mayor, the councilor, or any other local governing unit. So, ito yung sinisunod natin. So, they enumerate the different characteristic of each LGU. So, gina-enumerate diri kung saang different characteristic of each LGU, and then defines the powers and obligations of the officials of local government or local governments. So although provinces and cities make up regions, so not all regions are authorized to have their own government. So dili tanan nga region, guys, they are authorized to make their own governments. So that's why the 1987 Constitution mandates that there are no exception to this. So meaning, pagka 1987, guys, appeal sa Constitution nga, dapat dili lang selected provinces, cities, and municipalities ang naay local government. So dapat tanan. Okay, so all the regions, even in the Cordilleras and in the Muslim Mindanao, there should be a local governing unit. So it is also enumerated here in the local government code. So the local government code of 1991, guys, provides the overarching framework of local governance in the Philippines. So, mao ni ang sumbanan sa local governing unit. So, the key principles here is the local autonomy. So, meaning, naanatay ka ng kakayahan nga mo decide for our local city, local municipalities, or local provinces. So, we also have decentralization. Nindot po ni siya decentralization, guys, kasi we already know nga dili jud kaya sa isa ka tawo nga siya lang mag-govern sa tanan. So, nindot jud nga imong saligan ang imuhang mga local governing unit nga mo perform og tinuod kanang nadyo kasing-kasing and passion to do the best for the community and for the city or the municipality or the province at large. So that's why decentralization giapil po ni siya sa local governing units. Dili manghilabot ang lain nga local governing unit sa isa ka or sa lain nga local governing unit because maybe the other local governing unit doesn't see the problem uh, that the city mayor or the city governor are seeing in their respective communities or respective cities, municipalities, and provinces. So that's why we have now decentralization. So we also have accountability. So always remember, in every responsibility, here comes a great accountability. So, unsaon nila mahimo accountable. So, dapat nakabalugid kabalo gyud ana ang mga local governing units. Diri siya mabasa sa Local Government Code. Next is participative governance. So dapat mo participate jud kung unsa ang mga key rules and responsibilities of the local governing unit, just like the mayor, the councilors. So unsa dapat ang ilang buhaton, unsa dapat ang ilahang pamaagi para mo participate sa uh, what we call executive branch. So at present, guys, the Cordillera still constitute an administrative region. So ang Cordillera, nagkuan dyan na siya, no? Dugay na gyud na siya nga, ano siya, nag-constitute yun na siya og administrative region. So while the Muslim Mindanao area, guys, has been converted into an autonomous region, so the ARMM, okay? So, Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao. So, meanwhile, certain groups in the ARMM have advocated for the approval of the Bangsamoro or Bangsamoro Basic Law, which is expected to significantly change the form and powers of the government in the region. So, naapod ni siya ka ng ano jud, uh, real name or real meaning ang Bangsamoro Basic Law. So, you can also research it to know more about it. So, this basic law, guys, ano ni siya para daw mabahin-bahin ang power. Kasi, in the old days, kasi ang ating mga politiko is most likely gikan sa Luzon na pabayaan na daw ang ating Mindanao state. So that's why here in the Bangsamoro Basic Law, it is an it will really give Dow a lot of opportunities, especially for indigenous women, peace, and then kuan siya, kanang pagkapantay-pantay, and then a lot of opportunities for indigenous women kasi hindi sila binibigyan ng ng karapatan to be a part of the leadership or be a part of the leadership even in a tribe dapat lalaki tanan, so bahira lang jud ang mga tribe nga lead by women. And then women need to participate in the codification of our laws. So, dapat po, ang mga babae or kita tanan, we will have a lot of responsibilities or natay equal right nga mo participate sa codification of our laws. Kasi kasagaran biya sa mga biktima sa injustices is babae. That's why it's nice also to have this law. But the problem here, so the local government unit, the executive branch should really study if this law should be implemented or not. So basi meron daghan pa ni siya og mga ano ba loopholes. So that's why they need to study it really well to know more about this one. So that will be all for lesson number 9. I hope you learned a lot from our lesson today. Always remember, guys, to do your very best and always remember to make your parents proud. Have a great day. See you. And let's go to the assessment.